Well, welcome back to Oracle TV. I am so excited to be sitting here with our first guest, Executive Vice President and General Manager of Oracle Health and Life Sciences, Seema Verma. Seema, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
My pleasure. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's absolutely exciting to sit down and talk with you more about this comprehensive health platform that we have. So as the former Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Administrator and now the leader of, General Manager of Oracle Health, how do you see the future of healthcare going?
Well, I couldn't be more excited about our future. I think technology is really going to change the way we look at healthcare and solve a lot of the problems we have. There's a lot of amazing things going on in healthcare. We've got wonderful doctors and providers at the front lines. We have amazing innovation, new treatments and therapies. But from where I sat in my previous government role, we also saw all of the problems, whether it was the high cost of healthcare, people having trouble accessing the system. We're spending a lot of money on administrative costs. And quite frankly, we've had issues with technology. I think what we're hearing in the last few days is even just issues around cybersecurity. And so we have a lot of problems to solve as well in healthcare.
So there's this outlook that we're not just shifting healthcare, we're shaping it, and we have problems to solve as we move forward into the future of healthcare. So as the leader of Oracle Health, you have your eye on both the provider and life sciences. How are those two? What's that interplay like that's going to benefit our customers?
Sure. So if we think about some of the problems that we're having in healthcare, one that really comes to me in terms of top of mind is the high cost of drugs. And there's a lot of discussion about how we should pay for drugs, but if we really take a second to look back at what is causing that problem, a lot of it is for our pharmaceutical companies is that there's a high cost in terms of those bringing these blockbuster drugs to market. They can spend some 30 years and billions of dollars just to bring a drug to market. A lot of times they're spending money on research and the drug isn't successful. And if we look at that, just sort of that problem and the time it takes in development, there's a lot of opportunities for us to simplify that process and make it easier. There's a lot of drugs that they develop that don't even get a chance to go to clinical trials because we can't find people to participate in the clinical trials. There's a lot of manual work that's involved in that as well. And so I think there's an incredible opportunity for us to bring better technology to the whole clinical trials life cycle to make that process go quicker and faster, and to make it more affordable without sacrificing any quality. And so one of the things that I like to say that we're doing at Oracle is that we're bridging the gap between clinical care and clinical research. Today, that's very separate. We've got providers out there that may not be aware of the latest treatments and therapies. We also have individuals out there that would love to participate in a clinical trial, and they can't do that because they're not aware of those clinical trials. Moreover, the data is also extremely important. Pharmaceutical companies can really have a lot of discoveries and ideas just looking at what happens when somebody takes X drug or Y drug and what those interactions are, so that having access to data is really important in terms of creating the next cycle of new drugs and to really be fueling innovation.
Thank you so much for that. So really this connection between the provider and life sciences, it comes with, we're going to be bringing forward better technology, use the word even simplifying, to help that provider and, to get that out there to improve this future of healthcare. You also hit on another term, the real world data, and I've heard you use that as being this critical component of what you just talked about, that bridge between clinical care and clinical research. Can you go into that just a little bit more?
I think what we're trying to build at Oracle is a connected ecosystem. Yes. Today, if we look at technology, we have technology that's specific for an electronic health record. We have technology that is specific for a clinical trial. And Oracle is really the only company in the world that sort of sits in the middle of all of this. We start with our military-grade cloud infrastructure, and then on top of that, we have all of these different applications across payers, providers, pharmaceutical companies. And today they operate very separately, but because Oracle sits in the middle of that, we had the ability to connect all of this together. Today in clinical trials, people actually sit there and have to rekey information from their electronic health record into the clinical trial system. We shouldn't have to do that. You can imagine all the time and effort that takes. It also creates a lot of errors. we can simplify all that. We can just automatically move that data from the EHR into the clinical trial system. So that's going to speed up clinical trials. Also, because we have direct access to the bedside, we can help providers identify patients that may be eligible for clinical trials and connect them with pharmaceutical companies that are trying to bring the next new great discovery to market. And then again, just having all of that real world data. The data is critical. I think there's been a lot of work in the last few years to make data flow more freely and to flow along with the patient along their journey, so things are better. However, I think the challenge now isn't just the data, but meaningful data. To be able to take that data, to deduplicate it, to normalize it, structured, unstructured data, and to make use and meaning of the data, I think has become the new frontier. And that's really where I think Oracle specializes. We're going to be providing insights to our providers, to our pharmaceutical companies in a way that's never been done before. I'm really excited that at HIMSS this week, we're going to be announcing our Health Data Intelligence platform. This is an incredible new product. It is taking data from over 2,700 sources of data, and it's bringing, essentially building these longitudinal health records. And so you can imagine when you have comprehensive data about a patient, and then you're able to develop all kinds of insights and applications that sit on top of that, whether it's population health or public health, for a physician, if they're just trying to figure out what needs the patient has, closing care gaps. So once we have comprehensive data, there's many different types of applications that we can build for pharmaceutical companies, for payers, for providers, and for patients. I mean, it just, the ability for a patient to have all their data in one place, to be able to understand their healthcare, is very empowering.
Love that. It's not just about the data, it's meaningful data, and that's the new frontier. I think that's pretty incredible, and I love that you also touched on the open ecosystem for innovation. So let's circle back to where we started, the future of healthcare. When you think forward from your own personal perspective of what's this going to look like in 5 years, and 1 year, and 2 years, what makes you optimistic? What makes you excited, or what are you focused on in the future?
Sure. Well, the problems in healthcare have been going on for a long time. Top of mind, or I would say top of that list, is the affordability of healthcare. Our government, employers, not only in this country but across the world, are having trouble affording healthcare. And what that means for customers and consumers and patients is that they have trouble accessing healthcare because of its high costs. So we have to address the affordability issue. What's interesting, especially in the United States, is that we're spending almost 25 to 30% of our healthcare dollar just on administrative costs. So there's a real opportunity with better efficiency, with technology, to solve some of those problems. Another issue that's top of mind is workforce. It's a great thing that people are living longer, but we don't have the workforce to support the healthcare needs of our aging population. So again, a very significant problem. And there isn't a magic bullet to that, right? We don't have the next generation of healthcare workforce that's already there. And so again, technology is going to play a critical role in solving these healthcare challenges. If we can provide better tools for paraprofessionals, AI-assisted tools that can help them make treatment recommendations and find insights about that particular patient, we can help provide a better workforce because they have better tools to treat patients. So I couldn't be more excited about the future of healthcare, because I think for the first time we're going to have better tools and better technology that can address the issues that we have been struggling with for a very long time. And even if we are just making a dent in that high cost of healthcare around administrative costs. And again, that's what I'm excited about with Oracle, because we're sitting in the middle of all of that. Right. No other company has a footprint with payers and providers and with pharmaceutical companies, that ability for us to connect the whole ecosystem. And using AI, we're going to be able to bring better tools so that we don't need to have a lot of manual labor. So we can reduce costs, and we can have providers doing what they wanted to do from the very beginning when they went into healthcare, and that's to focus on patients, not having to sit there at the keyboard. So we're bringing a whole new era, very exciting technology. The other one that I wanted to mention was our clinical digital assistant.
Yes.
I couldn't be more excited about this one. This is a tool that essentially is ambient, listening. It is listening to the interaction between the provider and the patient and then generating the doctor's note. And we are having tremendous success with this. The amount of time that it takes doctors to do that documentation is quite considerable, and we are drastically reducing that. But moreover, I think we're going to be bringing the joy back to practicing medicine, because doctors can focus on their patients, not on all of this paperwork.
Yeah.
And we're hearing just rave reviews from the doctors. They're saying things like, for the first time in many years, I was actually able to take a lunch break. I was able to go home on time, and I didn't have to sit and stay up late doing 2 to 3 hours of paperwork. And so imagine what that means for the healthcare system when we have doctors that are truly focused on patient care. I think that the future looks very, very bright with all of the technology that's really going to solve some of the problems that we've been struggling with for years.
I love that, and I think it just hits on, it's bringing the human back to healthcare and being able to really create that provider and patient connection. I mean, I feel I was already excited about our future, and I feel more excited after sitting here and talking to you. So thank you so much, Seema, for shedding more light on this comprehensive health platform that we have.